Good morning, Real Writers. Chris here. Welcome to your Sunday Journal with Me session. If you're new, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. Thank you for joining me. I pull a few cards in these videos, anywhere from, 1 to I think I've pulled 6 at any given time from my many Oracle and Tarot decks, and we journal on those cards. And I have yet another new deck to share with you. I am addicted to decks, which I think is, there could be worse things, so I'm going to go with this. And I find that the questions that we come to, or the ideas, the metaphors, the symbols, they reach more deeply. They are more three-dimensional and abstract than I personally have experienced in many journals that are being, pre-written journals with questions that you can find ad nauseum now at Barnes & Noble. And I buy them because they're so pretty, and their drawings and their book design are so appealing. But then you open them, and often the questions are very pedestrian and familiar, and things that you've heard a million times. So, perhaps that'll be the case with these videos as well for you. But I find that the decks allow us to go a bit deeper. You don't have to be a writer to journal, by the way. I just want to make sure I say that. Although if you are, this is a good way to keep your hand in during those fallow periods, those stuck times when the well is dry, or you just need a break from what you're writing, for the writing not to have some kind of purpose or goal, but to be more free form. You can use these journaling sessions to journal from a character's point of view, or if apply the card's meaning to the poem or the book you're writing, or the story or the essay or the song or the play, whatever you're writing, to help you get through a stuck period. So I'm using the Empathic Oracle today. This is by Steve Wilson and Michelle Motuzas. I'm not really sure how to say that, so apologies if that's also your last name and I've butchered it. These cards are chalk drawings, and they have a sort of nighttime quality to them that I like. They're bright, but in a muted way, and they have, like I said, that dark nighttime quality. I think that sort of suits the mind, the imagination, the intuition, and just, that sort of symbolic place in our minds. So let's dive in. And what I did with these cards, these aren't two choices necessarily, but you're welcome to use them as such and choose one or the other. But since this is a new deck for me, I've pulled the first card, which is the first card on the left, and then the second is for me a clarifying card just in case. So and these cards don't like to stay up where I do these readings, but this is the easiest place. So this card is called Timeline, and you can see the chalk drawing. Interesting. So let's look at this first, and I'll read the description. There's an affirmation, and then there's a description. In my experience of time, I walk forward openly, ready to choose that knowing the lessons fill me with wisdom. That's syntactically a tad awkward, but I hope that came through. Experiencing time as an empath is different than how others experience it. And I should actually pause here and say that you may not be an empath, but it's fine. You don't have to be an empath to benefit from these cards, but I am, and it means you're just very in tune to other people. It's hard to put up boundaries against their energy, their emotions. This is very often tied to being an introvert. You just sort of end up absorbing other people's energy, and then you need long breaks to decompress. And it's kind of a superpower in a way, an empath, because you can really tune into people, and that can be of great benefit. But it also, if you don't have good boundaries and you don't know how to decompress or release that energy that you've absorbed, can be very, very, very draining. and almost make you feel like in some ways, because you have so much sensory information coming in, that you are like sort of coming from another world or on another planet or something. And introverts experience that same thing. These are often um, sides of the same coin. So experiencing time as an empath is different than how others experience it. Vivid dreams and déjà vu can make you question the very nature of your reality. How is it that in dream and vision you can be given clues into something that will happen beforehand? Also, when you are energetically sad or depressed, time seems to drag on endlessly. In moments of joy and love, time disappears as quickly as it arrives, leaving us wanting more. All this is teaching you the energetic reality of time. Some believe that there is a series of events in each person's life that gives an opportunity to make choices. These choices teach by the experience of energy. Choices made in fear elicit a heavier vibrational experience. An absence of choice because of fear elicits no vibrational change at all. Choices made in love and truth open you up to a lighter vibrational energy from Source, allowing the experience of desiring more. These energetic clues soon become equated to your emotional experience. Fear can stop your life cold. Love can speed life up to a point where every moment becomes precious, and never would you squander a single opportunity to be present. Knowing that the choices that are before you create an opportunity for movement, we begin to choose wisely, knowing that energetic growth is the food for the soul. And then there's a question, or several. Do I fear the choices that are before me? Are there reoccurring choices because of the fear to choose? Am I letting my timeline unfold before me? Is this situation presenting because it is part of my timeline? So this is an interesting description, because this is not at all what I get from this card. It is actually completely, it doesn't even for me line up with the idea of being an empath, because a lot of people can tune in to the fact that time can drag on endlessly or speed up. You don't have to be an empath for that. And it doesn't really deal with the connection or the experience of other people around you and how their behavior affects you and things like that. And it doesn't have to, I guess. But here's what I got from this card when I pulled it, which is not what the deck says. So I'm going to share with you what I got. And probably it's influenced by my own experience, of course. No kidding. So this card, for me, what I love about it is that it's completely open space. There are no buildings, no trees, there are no people, no fences. There's nothing, no walls, there's nothing blocking the way. It's completely open, and the various hills and pathways, I mean, there's clearly a road, but there are all these different colors and elevations. And that to me presents all different kinds of opportunities and open space and opportunities to choose a new direction, a new color, if you will, a new elevation, if you will. So it leaves everything open, which I really like. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm going to pull the card up. This is a crossroads. That's actually a crossroads right there where the arrow is pointing. There's a very thin band of brown, which is a road going east-west, and then another one going north-south. And it's real. I just find this card really interesting, because for me right now in midlife, which is where I am, time is going really, really fast. And it's jarring and concerning to me, because I want life to slow down. I'm at a period in my life where I would like life to slow down, and instead it's speeding up even more than it has in the past. And it's, I'm in midlife, so if you are too, then you're probably very conscious of where you are in your life, what you have and haven't accomplished, what you still want to accomplish, maybe a complete change of direction. Like I've made in the last 2 years a complete change in direction. There was a direction I headed in thinking that's where I was going to go, and then I went in that direction and it wasn't the right one, and I had to make a course correction. And I think I'm headed in the right direction, but it's still not totally right yet. So lots of things happening with my path and my direction, and because of all of these things, I'm extremely conscious of time passing, where I'm going, what path I'm on, what choices I'm making. Sure, I think fear and love and hope plays a role in all of those things. So yes, in that case, what the book says is important and relevant to what I'm getting from this card. But some questions you might ask are, where are you in your timeline? Like, I had a vision for my life. It hasn't turned out that way, which is, I think, true for everyone. Even if you hit the mark, you probably got there in a different way than you expected. And maybe you don't want to be there anymore. And you're trying to decide if you are brave enough to choose something else and what that something else would be. So a question you might consider is, where are you in your timeline? And you might consider that, just saying your life, but I think timeline is an interesting way to put it. Are you where you imagined yourself to be at this age, at whatever age you are right now? Was the path as you imagined it? Can you see what's ahead? And is it what you want? And I'll just say, in case this liberates you and allows you to tell the truth, I'll tell the truth. I can't see what's ahead. I thought I could. I thought I had a plan. I did have a plan. I hit the mark. It's not what I wanted. And it just changed everything about what I thought my future would be. So I don't know what the path is ahead. I have no idea. Is that disconcerting and scary? Yes, it is. It's also kind of a relief, and it allows me to just do some self-care and recovery from what came before so that I can clear the deck for finding out what's next. So in case you're in that position too and you needed to hear that, I have no idea either. So I'm with you. What other direction or path might you take? We're at a crossroads here in this card. If you're going north-south, you could turn east, you could turn west, you could go back the way you came, you could break off the road entirely, go into the blue, go into the green, head for the purple, head for the horizon. You don't have to stay on the road. So there are lots of options. And how has time been feeling for you right now? I just mentioned that for me it's been going really, really fast and disconcertingly so. And I've been trying to slow it way down. Not very successfully, but sometimes I'm able to, for pockets of time, I'm able to slow things down. Journaling is good for that. Reading, meditating, walking, going for walks. If you are dealing with stress and anxiety by binge watching Netflix, that's probably not going to help slow down time. It might distract you for a while, but it's better to do something healthier like meditating or yoga or walking or journaling, or even going to a therapist, like a cognitive behavioral therapist, by the way, for anxiety, if things are really particularly difficult. Yeah, so those are the questions for this card that you might ask, and I'll put them in the description box because I just asked a lot of questions. So let's look at the clarifying card and see. And also, again, you can use the second card as its own journaling card if you wish, but I think I'm going to be using it as a clarifying card. Okay, perfect. Stardust. Speaking of time, Stardust. You probably heard I forget, probably it's said in a poem, but it's said all the time in science that we come from stardust. We have stardust. We are made up of stardust because we come from the beginning of the universe, the beginning of our planet, and we have that in our makeup. And you know what? At the end of the day, we will return to stardust when the planet dies. And, whether we're in an urn or we're planted in the ground to grow a tree or we're in a cemetery at that time, we will end up stardust again. So from this card, I'll tell you what the book means and then I will. Well, from this card, for me, this means that we carry eternity within us. It's as simple as that. We carry eternity and infinity within us. It's just a matter of tapping into it. And I know that's what I'm trying to do. So, and that's what's helping me. So that's a direction you might choose. But we all have our different ways. You might make art if you paint or draw or dance or make films or write or compose music. Making art or doing something creative. It doesn't have to be capital A art, but doing something creative. You might be a crafter, which you can say with a capital C. Those are all, things like that where you're creating have that wonderful quality of feeling like you're in infinite time. You've tapped into that. So Stardust. Let me read you the description. As I look to the night sky, I know within that my soul is as ancient as the lights that shine through the darkness of night. Oh, that made me feel better. I don't know about you. So I'm going to read it again. As I look to the night sky, I know within that my soul is as ancient as the lights that shine through the darkness of night. So perhaps that's something to write in your journal or write on an index card and tack up somewhere where you can see it. Here's the description. It's a sobering thought to realize that throughout history, every human has gazed at one point to the stars in the sky. Each set of eyes pondered the reasoning behind their existence, what brought them to be, and whether there was more to this journey we call life. As an empath, you experience all things as energy, thought, emotion, pain, nature, and the elements. All present themselves as an energetic dichotomy looking for space within. This isn't an easy existence, and soon makes you question why. As empaths know that someplace deep within, you have a remembrance that we all come from the light. This light within your soul has been earned through hard-learned truths of experience. You have learned the difference between that which is love and that which pretends. It is in this knowing that we all come from the same light that you can find yourself wishing that others would also remember this truth. Next time someone seems lost, or if you sense a spark in their eyes of curiosity, take them out into the night sky and together gaze and be humbled. They just may remember. And the questions: do I question my existence and see my empathic gift as a curse? Do I honor the depth of my ability to love as a gift that has been earned? Is this situation bigger than me? So, I don't know. Again, I'm not, maybe it's just because these cards are new, but I'm not connecting with those questions. Questioning your existence and seeing your empathic gift as a curse, certainly yes. If you are dealing with a big situation where your empathic gift is making you crazy, that could be an absolutely important and valuable question to ask. And do you honor the depth of your ability as a gift? So, yes, if you want to focus on your empathic gift, yes. But here's where the core of this card is for me. It's a sobering thought to realize that throughout history, every human has gazed at one point to the stars in the sky. Each set of eyes pondered the reasoning behind their existence, what brought them to be, and whether there was more to this journey we call life. Wow. That's a huge idea, an amazing and moving idea that every person who has ever lived on this planet and is on this planet now and will be on this planet is going to look to the stars, looking for answers, looking for hope, looking for comfort, looking for inspiration, wondering who they are, what they're supposed to be doing. That's really amazing and inspiring and definitely sobering and moving. So maybe that's what you might journal on today. That's a really wonderful thought, and it joins us all together. So that's really a wonderful thought. Joins us all together in time. That we are part of this chain of human beings that had this experience. We are a link in that chain, and it joins us all in time, which is a very wonderful idea. So choose your card and let's journal for 10 minutes. That's our 10 minutes. I would be very interested to know what you shared in your journal, to the degree that you'd like to share something. So feel free to post something in the comments. And I hope that this was an inspiring and thought-provoking session for you. Again, if you like this deck, it is the Empathic Oracle by Steve Wilson and Michelle Motuzas. I feel like I've said that wrong 3 or 4 different times. So sorry to them, but it is a thought-provoking deck, and I'm sure we'll see it again in these sessions. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday, a wonderful rest of your weekend, and happy writing.